The damage of their homes is not assessed above the capped amount by EQC. That's meaning that they're not entitled to insurance payouts equal to that of a rebuild, even though their homes are uninhabitable. Gracie Fee reports.
Red Zone residents have just a month left to make a decision on their future. The majority have until May 18 to accept one of the government's two offers. Option 1, selling the land and home to the government at its rateable value, or option 2, negotiating a better price for their house with insurers. But it's proving a bit more complicated than that.
You've got red zoners right across the red zone who haven't even received their insurance offer yet.
But some don't even qualify for that, even though they're unable to rebuild on their land. Mike Coleman says the EQC are holding back and allowing red zoners over the cap so they can access insurance claims.
EQC have assessed under the cap, insurance have often assessed as a rebuild, and many red zoners are not going to be getting their rebuild because EQC are just showing a disgraceful position here and apportioning the repair cost to keep them artificially under the cap.
Red Zone residents who have been assessed under the EQC cap cannot get an insurance payout to even come close to the payout they should be receiving for their homes. Coleman says Earthquake Recovery Minister Jerry Brownlee needs to step in and tell the EQC to put every red zoner over cap so they can access their insurance payouts, which is a major factor in accepting the government's two offers.
Many folk in the red zone at the moment only have one offer, an RV offer. They need their insurance offer as well, particularly if they're getting a rebuild. There's nothing worse than taking $200,000 less, getting an RV offer, and they could be getting a rebuild somewhere else on new land.
He says something needs to change, if not with the EQC, then with the government's stance.
There's some terrible things happening, and we've been petitioning EQC and Red Stiven to do something there, and he's refusing to do anything.
Green Blue Zone residents who have been assessed as a rebuild say they aren't being paid out by the EQC until a Department of Building and Housing report on new foundation requirements is completed. Those residents are frustrated because regardless of the new foundation standards, their houses have been written off and they believe they should be paid out immediately so they can move on.
EQC are holding up everything at the moment, and insurance companies are too. They're not paying out and getting rebuilds done as well. So we have no rebuild happening at the moment across the city.
Coleman says residents need to start rebuilding and also need land to be opened up through SERA in places like Highfield. But they also need the EQC coming to the party and, most importantly, the recovery strategy to be revealed.
We asked Jerry Brownlee, who's had the recovery strategy since Christmas, where is the recovery strategy for the city? Red Zone has got a month and a half and then they've got to be out of their homes in 1 year's time. What is happening with the recovery?
He says residents have no idea what's going on and have nothing to base their decisions on if there is no recovery strategy.
There's no idea about the white zone, the still orange zone, people waiting, the green, blue are in a desperate situation. You've got red zoners still struggling with insurance companies and EQC, and in the meantime Jerry's sitting in Wellington with a recovery strategy and no one's seen it or heard of it since Christmas.
Coleman says many lower income red zoners have already had to leave the city and calls for a purple zone, particularly in the Avon Loop in Kaiapoi, where a lot of homes aren't damaged, need to be backed.
In response to the report, Minister Brownlee says there will be houses in the red zone that aren't complete write-offs, and it would be a dishonest position to write these houses off just so insurers have to pay. Land in the red zone is not going to be remediated, which is why people have the option to sell to the government and get paid out at 2007 rateable value. EQC say they have no influence over residents' decision in accepting the government offer.